that we had mostly new faces. And so, you know, what we've been able to do is say, you know, your conditions that you play under are not conditions that I've set, it's conditions that you've set maybe from the time that you've started playing basketball. Can you dribble? Can you pass? Can you shoot it? Can you shoot the three, play inside? What we want to do is define all that and put us and our team in the best position to win. So I hope that a roundabout way, Alan, answer your question there. It's very difficult early on, and it just takes time. So the biggest challenge in terms, again, not to overuse the phrase changing the culture, it's setting our culture and setting the standards and values that have been successful for us in the past and that we think are going to be successful here, and how we go about doing things every day.
At this point in the tenure, are you pleased, or are you where you expected to be as far as instituting your culture?
Yes, I've been very pleased. We've had very, very little kickback. It's a very similar situation that we inherited, I think, at Southeastern Louisiana with a team that had lost a lot of players, that had a background in the background of probation and scholarship reductions, and it was just beginning to emerge out of that. So very familiar, and what we want to do is lay the foundation, very confident in what we're doing, lay the foundation for future success where we can compete every year. And to do that, it's certainly recruiting is obviously the most integral part, but it's also Stan, how you go about doing things every day, having a great expectation in every phase of their life. Our goal is to develop great young men, students that achieve to the best of their ability, to make sure that they're prepared academically to go on and get their college degree here from our great university and move on and be successful later on in life when the ball stops bouncing, and then develop them to the best of their ability as basketball players. And that takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of people to help them do that. And what we want them to simply do, to put it in simple terms, is we want them to understand that we are going to expect and demand their absolute best in every phase of their life. That's our job, to help them reach their potential. So we want them to understand that we're not going to tolerate anything less than their best effort on the floor, but also anything less than their best effort in the weight room, classroom, the way they carry themselves outside of those times. So that it's just it's a deep commitment to do that, and that's really, I think, how you set your standards and that you establish a championship culture. So it's not really much about, well, we're changing the culture, because I think sometimes that throws shade at anything that was before. We're setting our own standards and values and creating the culture that we expect. They've had success last year.
What does Stevenson offer in the post?
What does he offer?
Yeah, I mean, what would be his
quick? I tell you where, again, being at Southeastern Louisiana, but obviously being a Mississippi native, we recruited the same, Mississippi really hard there. And that was a young man that we recruited and we're very familiar with. He has come a long way. I tell you where he's really developed. His offensive game has gotten a lot better. He was just a catch and go dunk it kind of guy, right there around the rim. Now he can face up. He shoots the mid-range jumper really well, and he just plays so hard, and he's active. Would I wish he was 6'9", 6'10"? Absolutely. But with his added bulk and again his quickness, so one thing we talked to him about is play to your strength. You're not gonna be able to get in there in a wrestling match with a much bigger body, but by the same token, he's going to have a hard time staying with you with your foot speed and quickness and your bounce.
Angel Smith, where do things stand with you?
Angel came in here as a young man and had very, very high expectations. When we still have high expectations from him, he's had a little harder time adjusting, I think, to the demands of Division I basketball, and I know y'all are going to try to read between the lines of what I'm trying to say there. But he's just beginning. I thought last week was really the best week he's had so far. He's just beginning to figure out, I've got to bring it every day. Now you're talking about a guard that's 6'5". He can really shoot the basketball. Beautiful shooting touch. Top 20 player in Florida coming out of high school. And so he's a young man that's got a great future here, and I still think he has a great future. And I was very encouraged with the way he finished last week. So we're really expecting a lot of things out of him.
Where it is, there's gonna be a lot of pressure on other teams and maybe running. What kind of basketball are you gonna have?
We have a simple philosophy, Alan. Again, I want to go back to, it's important that we get the basketball into the guys' hands that can do the most damage. So it's not democratic, okay? And then there is a misconception that playing fast means lack of structure. It's a blacktop game, and they're just going to run up and down the floor. That's not it at all. But for instance, with a guy like Drain, Ladavius Drain, he's going to do most of his damage in transition. And the reason is in the half-court set, everybody in the world that we play knows that he's going to be able to shoot the basketball. They're going to be locked into him. A lot of times, the best way to get an open three, a couple of times are in that stage of the game. For instance, as the basketball is rebounded down before you can get one out of fast break, a lot of times you can get one after offensive rebound. We work on kick, rebound, and if we can't score right back, throw it back out during that kind of chaotic time for the defense before they're truly set. It'll be much more difficult, and that's when you'll start seeing us run more half-court offense to get guys like that shots. So to answer your question, yes, we want to push the basketball at every opportunity, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go down there and throw up a quick shot. So we want to have the philosophy of score early or score late, meaning if we can get him, Gabe Watson, a shot quickly out of transition because they're open, not forced, and there'll probably be a lot of substituting. You'll probably hear a lot of horns going off with subbing. And if we shoot a contested shot or shoot a wrong shot, that doesn't give us an opportunity to score as good. Because I don't think that with our youth, I don't think we have a tremendous amount of firepower. So we have to make sure that we're efficient on the offensive side. And I mentioned, like, after offensive rebound,